Hey, you're back with SoloGamer here at Dark Darker Darkest, and now we're going to go over our players. Now I randomly chose 4 players, and our first one was Nino Argento. I guess that's a play on Dario Argento, the great horror director from Italy. Alright, as you can see, she has these little cubes here, and these are her action points. You get 3 action points if you play a 4-player game. Every time you use an action, you move the block over. When all 3 over are here, that means you're done. She starts out with 3 health. We put a little cube there because every time she loses health, it's going to move. And if it comes down to 2, that means she only has 2 action points now. She's wounded so bad she can only do 2 moves. Okay, and when it gets to the skull, of course, she's dead. This is your experience tracker. Every time you kill zombies or open doors or kill a creature, you move the experience track up so many points. It's 1 point for a zombie, like 2 points for a creature, and so many points for, I think, opening a door or something. If she gets entrapped, this is the entrap symbol. She can roll 1 die to try to break free. If she can't break free, somebody else has to spend some action points to roll their entrapment dice, however many numbers they can roll according to their card, and they can try to break her free. She has a special little ability that she's able to heal somebody for 1 action point, heal them 1 wound. And these are her skills. And let me take that off. When you get experience points, like this is a knife expert, and when she gets 4 experience points, she can trade in those experience points and go back down to 0 and get the knife expert token. And like here, right here is a virus token thing where it helps her fight the virus. And if you were to get that, you just take this little symbol here and put it over that, and that shows you got it. She starts with a combat knife. The symbol for the combat knife is this, so that'll help when we open doors. Each player can carry 5 items. You put the 2 items that you have in your hands on the right side, and the 3 that you're carrying on the left side. Most items have 1 hand. That means they're one-handed. Some items have 2 hands, so they fill up both slots. This is the range. It has 0 range, so that means anybody in the same square as her or same tile as her. You roll 2 dice, and every success you get does a point of damage. Our next player is going to be Bruce Romero, and of course, I guess he's Bruce Campbell from the Evil Deads and George Romero from the Night of the Living Dead movies. And of course, he's going to have an orange color here, and his entrapment thing is 2. And he has a special ability where he can either borrow an action point from somebody or give somebody an action point, which comes in handy. He starts with the handgun. Okay. It has 1 range. It has that symbol on it. It's one-handed. You roll 3 dice, and it comes with 8 ammo. So what? We already have 4 ammo on there, but we put 4 more, so 8. So every time we use the gun, we take a cube off, and then the gun will be empty. You can still keep the gun, but there's ammo cards you can get to refill. We have Chuck Lee. Maybe Chucky, Bruce Lee. Who knows? He's our radiation specialist, so he comes with a bonus item called the decontamination kit, and that'll help him to clean up any room that's radiated. He'll have to spend 2 action points, as you can see, in order to do that. And he comes with Chinese stars or shrunkins, and there's 8 of them. They have a 0 range, and you roll 1 die, and you get a success, you hit. Then Bunny Van Camp. She's our chainsaw cheerleader. It seems like every zombie game has to have a chainsaw cheerleader in it. Oh, and his special ability is defense. He can add an extra die to roll for defense. Bunny Van Camp's special ability is this rage thing. It helps if she becomes entrapped or somebody else becomes entrapped. She can roll extra to do that. And she comes with a chainsaw. The chainsaw has 0 range. You roll 3 dice. It comes with 8 ammo. I guess that's 8 gallons of gas. And every success you hit, you kill. Alright, so what you do is you put your starting players in the starting square, which is this with these little numbers. And I bet you're wondering, hey, what's those numbers for? Well, for fire spreads, you take the 4-sided dice and you roll it, and whichever number pops up, like let's say a 1 would pop up, you would move the fire token up 1. If you rolled 2, you'd move it to my right 1 time, and that's how that works. As you see, there are these locks. If you go into a room that has a lock, you can for free turn the lock over. It shows you what symbols you need to open it, and players cannot team up. Like Ina can't have one of the symbols and Chuck can't have the other symbol. One player has to have all the symbols in order to open that lock, and once you open the lock, you get to take it, and that helps you come over here to eliminate these symbols off the key card. We have our camera tokens, and the way these camera tokens work is you got these little camera symbols on some of these tiles. You put a camera token on that symbol, and the way you're supposed to do it is whichever way the camera points is supposed to be the most views for line of sight. Cameras cannot see through walls, they don't see behind them, they don't see to the side of them, they see straight ahead, straight the way the arrow points. So this camera, like right here, can see this tile that it's on, it can see this tile, it can see this tile, and it can see that tile. And that's the way you're supposed to set it up. And camera checks are bad, really. Every time you are in the line of sight of a camera on the event tracker thing, you roll the dice, and if you get failures, then zombies appear. This game is going to start really overflowing with zombies real freaking soon. Now, the only other thing I changed is the radiation room. According to the rules, you're supposed to enter like in the terminal, the key code to the terminal, like you would for the laboratory, in order to unlock it. But I play it a little different since I don't have much time. If you can get to one of these locks and you have the proper combination of the codes on the back of these, then you can open the door to the radiation room and get in. It's kind of like any other locked room, and that's the way I do that. Because it's simpler that way, and it's easier, and it doesn't interfere too much with the game. So first thing you have to do though is you have to go to your event tracker. As you see, it's 1, 2, 3 on the events, and you basically do it in this order. Now it starts off right here on this game, but then you do this first. You do this. This is called the event phase or upkeep phase, and this is the first thing you do every turn. You take this little cube, and this is kind of like in a stasis phase right here, and you put it up here, right there. Now every next turn it's going to move down to here, and then next turn it'll move down here, and then it'll circle back up again. Okay, so this phase right here is the zombie spawn phase. This is the fire spreads phase, if there were a fire to spread, and this makes you move the counter down here 1 turn. When it gets to this last one here, we're in trouble. This is if there's not a fire in the house by the time you get to this one, there will be. If there's not a radiation leak by the time you get to this one, there will be. And so that's what you do on this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to spawn some zombies here, and we're going to roll to see where we spawn them at. So we take our 2 6-sided dice, and I did 6 and 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 6 right here. Now, you cannot spawn zombies in a locked room. You can't spawn a creature in a locked room. So if you do, you can put the zombies in an adjacent room, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to we get to choose. Isn't that nice? So instead of putting it right here, I will put it right here. So I will take a zombie token from the zombie pack here. Let's mix them up a little bit. Try not to look at it. And you see how we have our zombie horde token. We don't know what's on the bottom, and we will put it right here. Okay, so that's that. Now we go to number 2, and this is our player tracker thing. And I basically kind of think this is kind of useless right here. I really do. This is supposed to, like, when your players are done moving, like if Nina, who's green, has done all her actions, you put her here. And if they were to split up or something, go to a different room, you put that one there. It's kind of just, I don't know. I kind of really don't use it. I'm not going to use it that much. I'm really not. But that's just what that is. It lets you keep... If you do a type of split up game, then that helps. But in this game, you don't want to split up. You want to stay together. I mean, sorry, but you just don't want to split up. Okay, so then we go to our third phase, and this is a camera check. And so if a camera can see you, which at this point in time, no camera can see us, so we do not have to do a camera check. But let's say we did have to do a camera check. Let's say there was a camera here, and it sees all 4 of us in this room. You would roll your 4 die here. Okay? This is a failure symbol. If any one of those 4 dice had a failure symbol, then what would happen is we failed our camera check. If you fail the camera check, you roll a terror die, and whatever rolls on here pops up. You would spawn a zombie for this one, a fire would spread or start for this one, a creature would enter the game, or zombie or creature movement for this. So that's what those mean. Okay? This is a success. So the only thing you got to worry about on the camera check is rolling these. If you roll one of these, you're kind of screwed. And you roll for each player that the camera sees. Now let's see, if the camera only saw 2 players, then you would only roll 2 dice. But since it would see all 4, and you got to do it for each camera that sees you. If 2 cameras see you, you got to do 2 camera checks. So that's the way that works. So our camera check is good. We don't have to do one right now because no camera sees us. So now we have to spawn another group of zombies. So 4 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Now they're in a locked room. So what we would do is we would put this in an adjacent room, and we're going to put them right there. And we don't know how many there are. Okay. And the last little bit is this virus thing. Nobody's infected with the virus now, but let me explain real quickly how that works. If you get bit by a zombie, you take a virus token. It takes up one of your slots, so you're gonna have, if your slots are full, you're gonna have to lose something. If you get 2 zombie tokens, then when you come around to this thing, you're gonna put a gray cube on your last skill. And when you come around to this one, you're going to move this gray cube 1 skill over. If you had your bonus on one of these skills, you've lost it. And you can no longer get these skills if that cube is on there. When this cube, now the rules state, when this cube goes to your last one, you become infected and turn into a zombie, and you are basically out of the game. But I like to make it, I have a little bit easier of a one because there's very few antidotes. If it goes to your special skill, then you become a zombie. The way you stop that is you have to find the antidote. There's an antidote card, and there's also there's antidote cards in the deck. If you get one of them, you have to use it, and it will remove the second virus token. But you will always, if you get bit, you will always have 1 virus token. So getting bit, it's not so great. If you fight a zombie and you get entrapped, this is an entrapment token. You're just going to put this underneath your player, and that means you're entrapped, and you cannot move until either all the monsters are dead or you're able to free yourself by rolling your entrap number of die for your entrapment, or somebody else can roll a number of die for their entrapment and free you. Okay, so we have 3 action points, and what we're going to do is we are going to move. We'll move this way. So we'll start with Nina. She moves 1 space. So she's green, so she moves 1 space. As a matter of fact, let's move them all 1 space. So they're all in that room now. So they've all moved 1 space. Now, Nina's going to search. Only 1 person can search a room at a time. And if you get a successful search, that room can no longer be searched at all. But if you don't have a successful search, then you can keep searching until somebody does. You roll the number of dice according to how many people are in the room. So we have 4 people, so we get to roll all 4 of these dice. But we have to roll the terror die with this as well. And for every success we get an equipment card. If we get 2 or 3 of the same symbols, that means we have to activate what happens on the terror die. Okay, so we got 3, except for successes. We got 3 successes, so, and 1 failure. Well, failure don't really count on this one, as long as we didn't get 2 failures or anything like that. We got 3 successes. These are the only things where you can have multiple on your search. If I were to have like these 2 arrows and 1 success in this failure, then I would get 1 card, but that terror die, we roll the terror die and activate it and see what happens. But since that didn't happen, we got 3 successes. We get to pick 3 cards. Now Nina searched, so the first thing she gets is some shotgun shells, and we're going to put this right here. She's going to hold that, and if somebody ever gets a shotgun, we can turn that card in and to reload it for 4 shells, and it has that symbol there. So she has 2 more cards. So search, and we have handgun bullets. Now you can give this to any of the players. She takes the first one since she searched, and then the other players you pass them out. Well, this guy Bruce is going to take the handgun bullets because he has the handgun, and then the last card is a flashlight, and that has a special thing when you get to look at key codes, and we'll go over that when we go to a key code. Who do I want to give this to? We'll give this to Bunny. So this room has been successfully searched, so we take a little gray cube, put it in that room. That means that room can no longer be searched. And now everybody, that was Nina, so she's spending action searching, and what we'll do is we'll move her 1 more space, and that's done of her actions, and then we'll move everybody else again 1 more space to there. So we do that, and that, and now they get to look at this for free. You do not have to use an action point to look at this. Okay, and that has a green cross and a black symbol, and let me see if anybody has these. Well, we have the black symbol and we have a green cross, but no one player has it. So what we might want to do is we might want to change this up. So Chuck is going to spend an action point, and that's going to end it. He's going to trade the decontamination suit for the shotgun shells here. And so now Nina has the black symbol and the green symbol, but she's out of action points, and it's going to cost her an action point to open this door. Bruce still has 1 action point left, and Bunny still has 1 action point left. So what we're going to do is I will move Bruce and Bunny 1 spot here, and they get to look at this for free, and it's those 2 symbols. Now I know I don't have those, because I just know right off the bat. And that's going to end their turn. Now, supposedly I would, you know, they're separated, so I would move these squares over, but I'll tell you, I'm not even going to worry about that. And so that's their turn, and now we have to do zombie movement or attack. If a zombie token, horde token, like this one right here, was in the line of sight, we would flip it over and see what it is. If the zombie horde token was adjacent to the heroes, like right there, or diagonal to the heroes but not blocked by a wall, they would get to move. But since none of these since this zombie token and this zombie token are not next to an adjacent square, including diagonally to the heroes, this does not count. And the reason it doesn't count is because there's walls here. See what I'm saying? Well, let me see. I don't think that's right. They are diagonally to the hero, so they would get to move. So they would move 2 spaces. 1, 2. They move to try to get to the quickest way to the heroes. So it would probably be this way. Now, if the heroes are over here next turn, then these zombies are going to stop and they're not going to move anymore. Okay? So they only move if you are in a square adjacent, including diagonally, to the heroes. And that's it. We have no creatures on the board. We have no fire going now. So everything's that. So we'll stop now and we'll start our next round. See you then.